Thanks for staying with us. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of new executive directors in 2 agencies under the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. For the Nigerian Ports Authority, Vivian Edet is Executive Director, Finance and Administration, Olalekan Badmus, Executive Director, Marine and Operations, while Ibrahim Umar is the Executive Director, Engineering and Technical Services. For the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, Jibril Abba was appointed Executive Director, and Maritime Labour and Cabotage Services. Chudi Offodile is Executive Director, Finance and Administration, while Fatai Adeyemi is the Executive Director of Operations. According to the President, these appointments were approved with the belief the appointees will expeditiously and efficiently execute on their collective roles. Well, some politics now. The Ondo State chapter of the People's Democratic Party has announced the appointment of the Deputy Chairman of the party, Tola Alabere, as acting chairman. The announcement was made after a meeting of State Executive Council at the party secretariat in Akure. The PDP SEC says the development became necessary to avoid any vacuum following the suspension of its chairman, Fatai Adams. Mr. Alabere's appointment was ratified by 9 of the 11 members of the State Working Committee. The State Working Committee says Mr. Adams was suspended for anti-party activities and actions likely to bring the party to disrepute. The State Working Committee has also directed Fatai Adams to appear before the State Disciplinary Committee of the party for further interrogation, emphasizing it will decisively handle any incursion by the All Progressives Congress into its ranks.
The State ESCO in Ondo State is not at loggerheads with the National Executive Committee. Is a matter of constitution, either in the state or at the national level or at the local government level. All of us are guided by the constitution. So what we have done is in line with our constitution. And if anybody says anything says to the contrary, we have to go to the court probably to interpret the letters and spirit of that part of the constitution. But as far as we are concerned, the man remains suspended. More than that, if you gauge the mood of the people of PDP in Ondo State, you see the jubilation. Youths are happy, everybody's happy that this.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Jibril Abba, has described the newly commissioned Imota General Hospital as a symbol of hope to the most vulnerable in Nigeria. The 80-bed mother and child hospital was facilitated by the lawmaker representing the Ikorodu Federal Constituency, Babajimi Benson. Sarah Eko reports.
The dream of building a general hospital in Imota area of Lagos State started 45 years ago, but it was not until 2001 when the federal government, through the Office of the Special Assistant to the President on Sustainable Development Goals and a House of Representatives member for Ikorodu constituency, Jimmy Benson, that the 80-bed mother and child hospital became a reality.
The commissioning of this hospital is just the beginning. There is still much work to be done to achieve universal health coverage. Government will continue to invest in healthcare, infrastructure, training and retention of healthcare professionals, and creating policies that prioritize our nation's health.
We are working tirelessly to do more of this in different locations in Nigeria to ensure that we save the lives of our mothers and our children.
This is not the only thing you brought to Ikorodu Federal Constituency. You've given us sporting facilities, you've given us hospitals, you've given us a stadium as well.
For residents of Imota, the pain of traveling to Agboa, Ijede, and Ikorodu General Hospitals, which could be an hour journey, is ending with the commissioning of this hospital.
Majority of them go to traditional birth attendants. Of course, they have their own role, but not to over delay them there and know the right time to refer them to the main hospital so that the maternal mortality, maternal death can be reduced through early intervention.
We have suffered for this thing for 44 years. People who live here to go to Ikorodu to go and for treatment, or go to Agboa, or go to Ijede, in a community of this size, the headquarters of a local government. So, without promptings from anybody, we are going to make sure nothing but touches that hospital.
The facility is equipped with an operating theatre, consultation rooms, private and general wards, a laboratory, ultrascan machine, bath extractor, and emergency scanning machines.
In the meantime, commuters plying the OP-Kara-Ojodu-Berger axis of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway have expressed concern about the continued usage of the reconstructed median as toilet by street urchins, bus drivers and conductors. TVC News correspondent Theophilus Elamar reports that these individuals use the site as toilet at night and even during the day. We warn that this report contains graphic pictures and viewers' discretion is advised.
An early morning ride and you are greeted with the sight of dried feces that have spent days, if not months. This has become an eyesore to both residents, motorists and commuters. As well filmed, the awful stench permeated, yet this man went to the median to pass excreta, not minding who is watching. While driving, we caught another person on camera passing excreta there. Shockingly, this is done even in broad daylight recklessly. Residents and commuters along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway corridor told TVC News that crossing the median has become difficult.
This road is no good. Then do road, then do cutter to let water pass. People they tell to be there around here where they pay 15 naira. They pay 100 naira. Anybody want shit, may go there. May they help us find some people like boys plenty. Book castle clothes for their body. Put them there. Anybody with arrest me, they can't go Abeokuta. If they arrest about 3 people for 4 persons, you go see them say you go there okay. The day when they carry fire service car on fire water, they watch there. Anybody there, they see what anybody do. This guy is no good. They support Nigeria.
And it was very irritating. They messed that place up with the sheets, all these dirty things, and I was very, very angry that day because I was going to work that day because I have to get a water to wash everything that was stained.
So if our government can help us to put maybe security or people where go the day here, monitor here and supervise there.
We took a trip into Kara Market to ascertain if there is a public toilet, but our findings show that it's available. We are told that a cleanup of the median was carried out recently, but it didn't take a week before the heaps of feces were evident. Sometime last year, the Lagos state government, in trying to avert such an unwholesome act, ramped up its advocacy.
On our part, we believe we have to ramp up advocacy. We have to ramp up a lot of reorientation and messaging for the people. It doesn't speak well. Then, on our part also, I think next year, we need to start making provisions for public toilets.
Residents and commuters agree that the feces pose a serious health risk to everyone. They are also concerned about the number of public toilets on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway corridor and are calling on the government to act quickly to forestall this trend. Theophilus Elamar, TVC News, Lagos.
Away from that stinking part of Lagos, let's turn to Yobe State, where government has outlined operational guidelines for private school proprietors in the state. This move is aimed at curbing illegalities and sharp practices in the education sector. Yobe State correspondent Michael Oshoma reports.
In a meeting with the State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education, Sani Idris says any private school owner who go contrary to the new guidelines will be dealt with in concordance with the laws. With this move, it is now clear that the declaration of state of emergency in the education sector by Governor Mai Malabuni will yield the desired results. So, in a bid to sustain the drive for quality education, the state government, through the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education, adopt the operational guidelines set by the government. Addressing the private school proprietors, the State Commissioner for Basic and Secondary Education warned against flaunting the guidelines. Another pressing issue in the state is that of private schools operating without license, which the Commissioner frowned at.
Schools in Yobe State are to a large extent operating without license. And we have resolved today to write to all banks operating in Yobe State not to register any school that is not licensed by government, and that any bank which approved to open an account For any private school that is not licensed by the bank, the government will not hesitate to take a legal action against that bank.
After the meeting, the private school operators promised to adhere to the new guidelines.
By the grace of God, we are going to abide by the rules and regulations. And we pray all the promises he made for us, we pray that he make it a reality.
What the commissioner has said has favored me and has favored everybody. And we are going to abide by all the rules and regulations. We appreciate his effort.
Any private school that is henceforth not ready to play the games by its rules, any private school that is deliberately using those books that are inimical to our culture will risk being closed.
The commissioner warns that boys and girls should be seated separately in class. This, he claimed, is part of the cultural value of the state. Michael Oshoma, TVC News, Damaturu, Yobe State.
Government alone cannot provide critical infrastructure in the country. Therefore, there's the need for private partnerships, and to bridge the infrastructure gap in the country, wealthy Nigerians, especially investors in the diaspora, have been urged to partner government to speed up development. CEO Pamelto Group of Companies, Anthony Aromosele, gave this advice as he embarked on the grading of 4 roads in his community. He believes government alone can do it all. And to curb youth restiveness and unemployment, he's calling on government to encourage investors from diaspora to come set up businesses with friendly policies that can facilitate the ease of doing business.
If you wait for the government to do everything, I think we'll be wrong with that. So we take it to as a point of ourselves to make sure we do something we can do in our own power to help the community. That is why I single-handedly graded the road, about 4 roads in the whole community. And by the grace of God, if we are improved, with the help of, we can even do more.
One very simple way the government can encourage unemployment is to support investors from the diaspora, because a lot of us are very interested in investing in Nigeria. The government should make every effort to support us for such endeavor.
Outside Nigeria, Paralympian Oscar Pistorius has been freed on parole from a South African jail nearly 11 years after killing his girlfriend, River Steenkamp. Officials confirmed Pistorius was at home on Friday morning, having served half of his more than 13-year sentence. Ms. Steenkamp's mother said she accepted the decision to release the former athlete, but added her family was the one serving a life sentence. Mr. Pistorius, now 37, shot Ms. Steenkamp multiple times in 2013 through a door. The double amputee later claimed he had mistaken her for a burglar. Pistorius was eventually convicted of murder in 2015 after an appeal court overturned an earlier verdict of culpable homicide. Under South African law, all offenders are entitled to be considered for parole once they have served half the total sentence, which for Pistorius was finally set in 2017 at 13 years and 5 months. He will leave under strict conditions, including being unable to speak to the media until his sentence expires in 2029. He is believed to have gone to live at the home of his uncle, Arnold Pistorius, in an upmarket suburb of the capital, Pretoria. And that's TVC News this hour. For more updates on the stories we're monitoring, you can visit our website, tvcnews.tv. You can also follow us on our social media handles, Facebook,